Hey, we're outspoken. It's Bruce and Gaydos. We're reunited, and it feels so good.
Feels
so glad
good
to have you back with us, Gaydos. So, first off, let's look around. Does everybody still have all their fingers? 10 fingers, 10 toes?
Oh, yeah.
All right, then we're ahead of the game. Because 4th of July, it gets a little cray-cray with people and exploding things. And this 4th of July was no exception. You could just take a look at the number of fires that happened that we're pretty darn sure a lot of them were fireworks caused.
207 fire calls for service in Phoenix.
On the 4th of July.
Phoenix Fire Department responded to 207 calls.
Hustling.
Wow. Yeah. Again, I look at this. I know this happens every 4th of July. There was a house fire, some trees, some dumpster fires. It's not the election we're talking about. We'll do that later. Alley fires, but there was one fire in Gilbert that is quite suspicious.
All right.
And there's some people saying, all right, are the Gilbert Goons back, or is this just an incident that took place in Gilbert? And it was, I guess a barn was burned down. There were a bunch of young teenagers in it, and the story is it's shocking. You basically had some girls who had blocked a couple of boys. This is high school stuff.
Been harassing them, or
so they blocked them on social media.
It's what you do.
And these boys came over, and they knew that the girls were in this barn. They burned it down with them in it. Luckily, they all got out. Okay, so why are we bringing up the Gilbert Goons? Well, let me tell you what I've discovered, which maybe you haven't heard yet. Because, you and I have been talking about the Gilbert Goons forever. We've got a lot of people in Gilbert that we know, and it seems like at least a few people are telling me they don't know if this is the Gilbert Goons 2.0, if it's left over from the other one, if this is just kind of a copycat.
I would be careful labeling every bad teenager a Gilbert Goon.
I totally agree.
In East Valley.
Guess how many boys have been harassing, threatening, and vandalizing property in Gilbert recently?
Yeah.
12. It's not one. Doesn't sound like an isolated incident to me. Kind of with you. I don't think it's the Gilbert Goons, right? But it's 12 boys.
Are teenage boys acting badly all over the valley, or are they only acting badly in Gilbert?
I don't know. But there's a group of boys, and it looks to be about 12, and they're targeting teen girls.
Well, and apparently what came out of it is that these boys have been threatening anyone who snitches on them, who tells on them,
right,
who points them out.
Sounds pretty...
Yeah, maybe they learned it from the Goons. How's that? They've learned this is the way. And it is Gilbert PD, so goodness knows if they'll even take it seriously.
Probably not.
No, I'm trying to get to the point where I can't drive through Gilbert either.
I listen.
You can't. You should absolutely
You know what?
never.
I think I get more, how do I say this? I get more reaction from Gilbert police officers on the ground that are good than bad. Because the head guy out there, we don't even need to go into it.
We don't.
So all 12 boys aren't always, present, but they videotape their crimes, right?
Of course they do.
And so if we've got 12 boys, there are at least 7 or 8 victims over the last year. A, what are the Gilbert police doing about it? Mm-hmm. B, what are these 12 boys' parents doing about it? We're having the same conversations as we did when the Gilbert Goons were allowed to run rampant. Okay? Listen, these are boys that burned a barn down and tried to kill teen girls.
You're going to have a tough time proving that in court. So
if I go to your house and I know you're in your house and I start a fire, that means I'm trying to kill you.
Well, or there were these girls inside the barn that they were harassing, I'm not denying.
Right.
And they threw a firecracker in there to try to scare them.
What do you think happens? Well, why don't you just throw a firecracker?
Phoenix Fire Department had 207 calls for fires. When you throw firecrackers around, it might start a fire.
What do you think a firecracker is going to do in a barn?
Well,
It's going to set the barn on fire.
You have to prove that that's what they thought they were doing.
Yeah.
I've thrown firecrackers at people. I hope they didn't catch on fire, but it might happen.
You're throwing firecrackers at people, for Pete's sake.
What else do you do with them?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I just, again, now we've got a dozen boys that are running around, harassing, threatening, vandalizing property. It looks like they're going after girls. I've got some Gilbert parents that said they're going specifically after cheerleaders.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I got to tell you, if I'm the father of one of these kids out in Gilbert, and what I mean is one of the daughters.
Yeah, the victims.
Yeah, I might be in a yellow jumpsuit pretty soon. Try that with my kid and see what happens.
Well, what I'm trying to understand.
Did I say yellow or orange? I meant orange.
Probably
jumpsuit.
orange jumpsuit.
Orange
I don't think
jumpsuit.
they were yellow.
Did I say yellow?
Well, you said yellow. I didn't know if you meant you were going to be cleaning up trash on the side
Orange.
of the freeway. Okay, let's go with orange.
Sorry. Gets me so mad.
Understandably. I think the spotlight, whether you like Gilbert, I'm talking to you and Gilbert right now, whether you like it or not, the spotlight's on. And every time there are incidents like this that involve teenagers, that involve any act of violence, retaliation, that involve videoing things, you're going to get lumped in and you're going to have scrutiny brought on you. And it appears rightfully so.
Right.
Listen, at the minimum, they burned a barn down. At the minimum. At the maximum, they tried to burn people that were in the barn.
And the difference here, and we don't have to call these, this a group or I think it's a group, but not a gang. They're going after girls. Remember the Gilbert Goons went after boys. These kids, these 12 boys, are going after girls. Man, I will tell you, you are as gutless as anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You're a high school kid. You're going to try and hurt girls. You're going to be put in the ground, man. You mess with the wrong family, you'll be put in the ground.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.